you joined Blackspot and you were younger than all those guys. Like, how did you end up getting in that band? Because you were like in hardcore kind of generations removed from them, even though it was only a couple of years.
You got it backwards. Loman and I started the band.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Threshold?
No. So, okay. I had a drum set. I learned how to play. Loman was like, hey, dude, I want to start a band. I got some songs. Do you want to jam? And I'd never been in a band. So I'm like, fuck, of course I do. So I didn't even have a car yet. Don't even have a license, I guess, yet. And he's like, oh, I'll pick you up your stuff. Picks my stuff up. We go to his mom's house, living room of Maxine's. And, yeah. And he already had a bunch of songs. So we just started jamming. And then we're like, okay, that was rad. Like, this is cool. This works. And, okay, so let's make a band. So we got a guy, Keith McCullough from Irvine. We called him Crazy Keith.
I remember him.
So it was the three of us, and he was cool. He was crazy, but he had his own stuff. He built a bass cabinet that basically copied Mark Hayworth's cabinet. So he had this killer cabinet, a nice bass. He had his own stuff. And we were like, hey, let's get this guy. I mean, Loman met him probably from those Irvine dudes. I, of course, didn't know anybody. But we started jamming with him, and then we called ourselves Body Count.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Before there was a real Body Count, right?
Right.
So we're like, oh, then Ice-T comes out with Body Count, and we're like, oh, I guess we're not called Body Count anymore. So eventually we kind of had to do the like weird kick a guy out of a band but not really tell him we kicked him out of a band deal, you know what I mean? Because he was kind of mental, and he lived in Irvine, and he didn't have a real way to get around. And I don't know, I think he was okay, but he wasn't like, we weren't great, but he wasn't as good as we were, which means like he wasn't that great, you know? And so then Loman, of course, knew Lytle and Brown, and being they're older, I didn't know, you know, I knew my crew of dudes, which were way younger, and he knew all of them. And somehow got it that Lytle had a bass and could play, and Brown wanted to sing in a band. And so then, again, we had those dudes come over to Maxine's, and we jammed in the garage. And then that was the band. We made a band.